We are streaming live on YouTube now. If there were some questions came through on YouTube as well, which I have not managed to encounter them or got hold of them. But soon, hopefully, at today I will read some of them through. There's quite a lot of them, but I will hopefully incorporate them at next week of Sangha. So I have the last week we talked about several things, and it is quite warm where I am and sunny. This is one feedback from my side. And where are we now? Anybody have any question on Zoom? Please do ask if you have.
Hello, I have a topic we can discuss.
Go ahead.
I've noticed something lately. I've noticed that we as human beings, we have the responsibility and the freedom at the same time to choose in which situations we take part in from moment to moment. If we find ourselves in a difficult situation, we have the choice to stay or to leave. We have this choice from moment to moment all the time. The choice is there, always. It on the body situation, on the thought situation, on the feeling situation. I've noticed that we have that freedom and the responsibility at the same time. And if someone is a little bit more sensitive, even in the energy movement on the body, I would like to hear what you think about it.
You know, the responsibility, there is several different ways. In personal, my opinion, what I think about responsibility is very individual. When you are capable to respond to something or do something about it, and when you are not doing that, that becomes little difficult. So there is no other responsibility you have in your life other than a self-salvation and self-liberation, or the moksha, the mukti, or discovering the inner hidden gem within oneself. So that is the first responsibility. Everything else comes secondary. You're talking about freedom. Yes, we have a freedom to, as an individual on conscious mind level, that you can say there is a freedom. But if person is bound by nature of karma, nature of samskaras that you have accumulated in this conscious mind through the education and sense relationship, you do not actually have a freedom. So freedom you only have when you are free from karma. Then you can say that you are free and you have a freedom to do what you like to do and choose what you like to do. But most of your choices are actually subject to the limitation of the mind. As long as mind is not liberated, as long as your senses are not fully liberated, or you yourself not liberated from the senses, you do actually not have a freedom. it may appear like that you have freedom, but in truth, you don't have freedom. You have a slavery to the senses. The moment you can find a relationship with the senses, and that time you have freedom. That sometimes may appear that you have a very harmonious relationship with the senses. That time you may have a little bit of freedom in your thinking as well as in your action. Most of your actions are subject to control of your senses or pre-thinking, preconceived, projected concept. So there is no freedom. If your thought process is not free, like I give you an example. In a society or a given circumstances, you have an animal or have a dog. Let's say, for example, I do not really like to chain the dogs or any animal, but it is, for example. So you make a fence and you leave the dog inside. Dog is free. Dog have freedom to movement. Or you can chain the dog and lamp post it and give it maybe 20 meter, 30 meter, 50 meter lead to it. Dog is free to move in that radius of a 50 meter. But movement of the 50 meter radius is free, but after that is not free. There is a restriction to the mind. Similarly, when you make a wall, that maybe wall is 100 meter away, or 100 meter by 100 meter, you leave an animal inside, it's actually not free. It has a limitation to it, certain capacity. Similarly, as long as you are controlled and ruled by the senses, as an individual, you have a limitation of your senses. You have a limitation of your mind. You have a limitation of your body. And up to that, you can say that you have freedom to act what you like to act, but all of your actions are controlled either by the desire or fear or insecurity, the greed, or competition, or the nature of survival instinct. So your freedom is actually ruled by many things. So in one sense, it's not freedom. And you are able to respond to whatever is required, because if you are in your capacity, I'm pretty sure you will do absolutely everything that your sense require at that time. So it becomes an individual responsibility in terms of a material concept. So, in one hand, freedom exists, but actually not exists as a paradox. And responsibility, if you take responsibility of everything and everyone else, because it is either coming from place of self, openness, love, compassion, sharing, or it is coming from expectation of other people, or a personal desire to be needy, or a validation. So it depends. Sometimes you're not even able to respond, but you are taking that responsibility. There is a both ways. And if you really like to have the freedom and responsibility same time, free your oneself from the attachment of the senses. Remember what I'm saying. Attachment to your senses doesn't mean you control, suppress them. Accept them, understand them, and try to, when some emotion is rising to your conscious mind, the what you have perceived through the knowledge from this lifetime or previous lifetime, before you react to it or judge it, observe it. Once you stop reacting to it, you may find a way to walk to a freedom, and you will have a greater responsibility. Your responsibility is only how you respond, how you react, whatever your senses are encountering. That is the only responsibility one person has. And the whole purpose of the life is to take that responsibility so you can make this limited mind, limited body as an abundance, what is your true nature is. So how to achieve that, how to find it, again, is ongoing message, is a self understanding the self dharma. What is your dharma is? Once you understand your dharma, which is called modern language a purpose. Purpose is not most of the time people looking for a purpose. Purpose is a wrong identified. Purpose is not to become a doctor, not to become a scientist, not to become a school teacher, not to become yoga teacher, meditation teacher, or any other job you do. That's not the purpose. Purpose is a self-understanding. Purpose is to knowing yourself, the what actually who you are, and as you exist in your body, how you utilize. Once you have understood yourself, that doesn't mean you become completely boxed again. That I have understood myself, completely liberated. But once you have realized who you are, what your purpose is, what your dharma is, and how you utilizing that, being within the society. So I think I described some time ago, there's 4 different ways you can live a life. Live your life according to you, for yourself. Only for yourself. Yeah. One person. Second type, you can live your life according to other people, for other people. Third option, you can live your life and be in your life according to other people, for yourself. Third version. Fourth one, you can live your life according to yourself, for other people. So it depends where you are in your karmic journey, where you are in your self-relationship journey, and you find your approach to it, you find your relationship to it, and that will lead, that will pave the foundation. So observing the senses, observing your mind, observing how you feel in the body, and it's at majority of the time, most of the mind is actually limited and controlled by own senses. And remember, mind is very self-destructive. Till, as long as your mind is your senses doesn't have good relation, mind is self-destructive itself. So once you understand the mind, once you understand the senses, it can become a very good friend for you. Till you don't have a relationship, they are always destructive. So responsibility and freedom, yes, you have, and they both possible to exist, but you only have freedom of responsibility within your capacity, what you are capable, what you're able to respond to. So once you understand your limitation, you will also find a lot more peace and comfort as well. Sometimes you have taken the greater responsibility, but you are not capable of taking that response. You cannot respond to it. So you will start struggling, suffering, your senses will start suffering, and you will lose your freedom. So if you can find a fine balance between your freedom and responsibility, that can also create a harmony in life. But always remember, mind is a very destructive, not to other people, but only to self. Is self-destructive the nature of the mind. I hope that makes sense to you, Christosmos. If there is any hindrance or you agree, go
Yes,
ahead.
I have to add something. You've talked about the limitations of the action when someone is taking action, that it has to do um, with his past karma. I don't know if I am saying
Past
the
karma
right.
as well as this life conscious karma as well.
Yes,
Not
I want to say that I'm talking about the freedom that you can choose not to act at all.
oh, there is a possibility, but that will sometime come not to act at all. If you are aware, you can choose not to act, but most of the time, if you are not aware, you will end up reacting. If not, you will end up reacting to your own self. That is also very dangerous, which is a, you call it modern language, is a suppression. If you are not reacting by not accepting, but you're suppressing, that is also unhealthy. If that creates a samskara to your own existence as well, you will
But
have a
yeah.
underlying emotions that harvesting inside you, that will become one day slowly as a volcano explosion. So
Separation is always is it's also an action.
yeah,
It's a response to your thoughts and emotion.
absolutely.
I'm talking about keeping distance from them to not to act, not to react even to to situation in your mind and your emotion.
It's possible if you are totally alert, if you're totally aware, and if you are also attentive how your mind operates, how your sense operate. When you can bring those three together, alertness, awareness, and attention combined together 24/7, you are watching your mind. Yes, in that situation it's possible that you can choose not to react to anything, but make sure when not choosing to react, but do not hold on to that emotion that you have not reacted. Do not label it. Do not claim it. The moment you claim that I did not react to it, you have reacted in a acknowledgement of not reacting.
Yes, I agree. I agree to that.
Excellent. And is there any question from the Zoom or on YouTube? Anybody have? If not, I will go to the questions I have. And I received a question today. Namaste, Yogi. Would it be possible to talk about how to handle people who lack of confidence demands respect, who due to lack of confidence demand respect and simply can't admit mistakes? Would you like to put this light on? Simply cannot admit the mistakes. They don't seem to have ability to self-reflect and it's okay, see their damaging behavior on the whole family. Lack of confidence demands respect. That person is very dangerous. And nobody should demand respect at all. Respect is earned. If somebody demanding respect, you should do it completely opposite to it. This is up to you. What I will do totally opposite. So respect is not demanded, it is given. You cannot ask for it. It is actually a come from place of love. It come from place of compassion. It come from place of acceptance. It come from place of warmth inside that you like to share a gratitude. If you do not have a gratitude, you can't have respect. If you have respect without the gratitude, it is pretend. Remember, it is pretend, it is false. It is actually comes from place of ego, that you are giving respect to somebody, but not from place of authenticity, not from place of acceptance, not from place of gratitude, or not from place of love. So somebody is demanding the respect from you, tell them that you don't have respect, so you can't give. So you only can give what you have. If somebody asks you for respect, say, I don't have any respect, so I can't give. Please accept my apology. Lack of confidence cannot demand respect. It may demand authority or maybe a acknowledgement. So maybe you might be mixing the words and simply can't admit the mistakes. Well, everybody in a process of learning. If somebody not admitting the mistakes, there might be some mental problem. There might be some processing problem. So what you can do, make stickers everywhere. Say nothing. If you stop saying them or reminding them of their mistakes, find a post-it note, stick them everywhere in the home, if you like. That's going to be one option. But in a other note, from a spiritual point of view, ask them to practice a conscious sleeping, which is basically laying in savasana and scanning the body. So make them connect with the physical body to understand the reaction of the physical body. Can you imagine somebody is not able to aware of their mistakes, how much disconnection they have to their body? So personally, I will advise to make them go for a conscious asana practice, conscious movement. Make them walk straight in one line, see how frustrated they get. Encourage them to do a physical activity. Second option, a second question we have, they don't seem to have ability to self-reflect, see their damaging behavior on the whole family. So if you're talking intellectually, yes, their sense is not connected with the body. There is a split personality. There is a person living in the body, potentially, that you see it, but I don't see somebody living in that body. I see empty vessel. From the text you sent, is actually an empty vessel. Nobody is inside, it's all hollow. It's supposed to happen with awareness, but now the person is actually unaware, that actually living empty vessel, basically. So you can ask that person how to connect with the body. You can utilize the asanas. You can make them a conscious walk and physical body awareness. So creating a relationship with the body is the first essential part for somebody to have an intellectual or a sense awareness or awareness of intelligence, what mistakes they are making, make them awareness they need it. So that is one part. And next one, since this person is a senior member of the family, I'm not expecting him to change, but rather find a way how to deal with it, how not to react to the trigger issue to the impossible and sometimes embarrassing way to his behavior. So you do not want that person to practice or change anything. You can change yourself. Every time the person behaves same way, remember to say it in mind, this person is a child. Is especially senior member of the family, they become children. And most of the time children behave so bad. Or sometimes they can behave good too. So accept this person is getting dementia, or you can in your mind can make a different identity to the person. You give them a respect despite they earn it or not earn it. So when you give a respect to somebody, not because they're doing good, give them because you have it inside. So they want it or not want it, they expecting or not expecting, if you start giving, that is another way you can deal with it. So you will not get frustrated. Person get what the person want, you have peace of mind, both people have win-win. So you do not want the person to change, you want to find a way how to deal with it. Do a bit more longer meditation. So you can understand not to have frustration inside. Or learn to live with it. You can't change the person, accept the person as it is. As long as you're trying to change somebody, that person cannot be changed, despite also you don't want the person to change it as well. Only way you can deal with it, either accept the person as it is, or you do a more longer meditation or physical movement to keep your nervous system calm, build a stronger immunity to this person's infectious behavior. So through the practice of asanas and meditation, you build a stronger mind, a stronger immunity, and openness in your heart to accept the person as it is. So it does not really disturb you. If you do not want to do that, accept the person as it is, give them, they want respect, give them respect, say nothing, learn to practice silence. That can also be the great, if you stop reacting. I remember my grandfather, he said, silence can be very powerful, very useful, very beautiful. When you feel angry or upset, or somebody asking, wanting something, remain silent. Somebody fighting with you, remain silent. Somebody having argument, remain silent. All it does, make the person more aggressive and angry. But you just learn to remain silent, chill, completely centered inside you. You can win. You do not try to win the person, but just win your own reaction towards to that person, how the person is behaving. So there's several ways you can do it. If you like more, please do send me the message. We can talk about it next week. I don't know the person who sent it, is anonymous. So next question I have. What is the key to meditate for longer hours? I can only do it for 30 minutes maximum. Hari Om. Nityam Yoga. Archana is probably based in India. Nityamji, longer hours, how long you can meditate? 10 hours, 20 hours, 24 hours, day in, day out, and every day. If you can become aware and conscious, your every action should feel like conscious. Meditation is not only when you are meditating with eyes closed, but to reach to that level of consciously that you are with yourself in your own center, it may take a bit time. But to help you, how long you should meditate, or 30 minutes maximum, I do not know why it is a limitation. So you only can meditate 30 minutes. If you can tell me a bit more, what is the limiting you from meditating more than 30 minutes? I will be able to help. This is physical limitation. You may like to build the physical stamina and strength. If it is a mental limitation, that you get agitated, frustrated, or you find it getting to the point is so peaceful and you get frightened in meditation, which is also a possibility most of the time to many people. So I will recommend to practice a alternative nostril breathing with a in-breath and out-breath retention. In-breath for 1, hold for 4, out-breath for 2, hold the out-breath for 3. If you find that difficult, then you do inhale for 1, hold for 2, exhale for 2, hold the breath out for 1. If you are falling asleep in a meditation, your right nostril might be open too much. If your mind gets distracted during the meditation, your left nostril might be open too much. If you can create a coherence of your brain or equilibrium of your brain before meditation, if you do a good 10 to 15 to 20 minutes of breathing, alternative nostril breathing, where both nostrils are open, both sides of your brain is open, and meditate, don't put alarm. One thing you can stop doing it, not to have a watch or digital watches that counting your sleep pattern and frequency pattern. These things, gadgets are more hindrance in meditation. Put them away. Don't need them at all. Don't put alarm or meditate in a room where the clock is, or don't try to meditate with a time limit. Let's say you have somewhere to go at 9 o'clock and you start to meditate at 8 o'clock. Your mind will not be able to ease because you want to finish the meditation before 9 o'clock. Mind already anxious and stressed about it. So try to go to meditate at a time when even you go to meditate now, you can be, there is no limitation, 1 hour, 2 hour, 30 minutes, 10 minutes, however long you can meditate. You can stay even for forever. So is a self-discipline. If your limitation is physical, mental, or energetic agitation inside the body, do you falling asleep or your mind is getting more busy? I have given the both options for it. To create a coherent to the brain, do practice Nadi Sodhan Pranayam for 15 to 20 minutes and then try to meditate. And I'm pretty sure that you will have a longer practice of meditation. Also make your physical posture comfortable. If you try to meditate in lotus, but your body is not ready, make it in half lotus. Make yourself physically comfortable. If you physically uncomfortable, you find it little difficult to meditate. Make yourself comfortable, but remember, comfort does not exist. More you find it, more discomfort it becomes. There was one question. Next question I had, can you please talk about limitation of mind and the way to go beyond it? We talked about the example of the limitation of mind previous my first question, Katrina. Limitation of mind is a limitation of your senses, limitation of your relationship to your senses. If you can evolve your relationship and how you processing your thinking, you can go, you can broaden the limitation of the mind, but you can never go beyond limitation of the mind. Remember, you only can broaden them. Even in a meditation, you are not beyond your mind. If you think you are beyond the mind, somebody have given you wrong information. You can never be beyond your mind. Your mind should dissolve into you in samadhi state. By that time, your mind becomes the samadhi. So you're actually not beyond the mind. The mind has transformed into samadhi state. If you are meditating, all you are doing, you are expanding your auric field of the mind, how broaden your mind frequencies are. As long as you are in physical body and consciously using the physical body, you are within the limitation of mind. You can't go beyond. But you can extend and expand your frequency level of mind that may be greater and broader than majority of the people you hang around, but only in a state of samadhi, which is also nirvikalpa samadhi. As long as you're having a sankalpa samadhi or giving a awareness to the mind to go that way into a state of samadhi, that is also limited. Your sabikalp samadhi is not beyond the mind, only nirvikalp samadhi. When there is no conscious decision to go into samadhi, it happens spontaneously. You have a no object uses to go into the state of samadhi. At that time, your mind have dissolved, your mind becomes one with your inner self. So I hope continued meditation will always help. And observation of your body will always help. There's another question I have. How to maintain that zeal of staying motivated when your motivation level fluctuates every time? Find one good reason. Only one good reason is enough to remain motivated. Because that you hold a pure love at your heart, you hold a compassion at your heart. Connect with one godly emotion or one positive emotion about your existence, you will remain motivated. But when you are demotivated or motivation is fluctuating because the outcome is not as per your expectation, or your senses does not feel pleased about it, you will lose motivation. Find the reason why your motivation fluctuates. The day you can find the reason why your motivation is fluctuating, then you can build only one single reason can be good enough to maintain the motivation. My good enough reason personally, I just love life. There is no other way to be. So find a good reason. You just start enjoying the breath. And I'm sure the day you start loving life, the day you start loving yourself, your motivation will never go down. There's many problems, day-to-day issues may arrive in life, day-to-day situations may arrive in life. They try to demotivate you, try to fluctuate your demotivation, but you can't. You can maintain it only if you are totally dedicated, only looking for one good reason why to remain motivated, why to remain in a state of love with yourself. When you are not in a state of love with yourself, you find mind will find many reasons. Mind's job is to find a way to keep you distracted, not to be with you. But you can train your mind to be with you so it can always remain in a state of love, in a state of motivation. When you are in a state of love, a state of compassion, a state of gratitude, you are always motivated. when any of them you find a weakness or leaking through your emotions, through your heart, or your senses not getting pleased enough, you will feel demotivated and you will fluctuate in your motivation. Either it is related to the health, eating, mental condition, behavior condition, or doing anything that you like to do, even to meditation. Despite meditation gives you peace, gives you love, gives you self-awareness, you can also feel demotivated towards meditation because it's not going the way you want it. You're not seeing the unicorns in meditation, so you give up. You're not seeing the stars or you're not seeing the rainbow colors, so you give up. So you only getting what you actually investing in your own self, but you feel demotivated very easily. Find one good reason. Only one good reason is enough to remain motivated and happy in life. So, Nasim, if you like, Nasib, if you like more information, please do ask. There's one more question somebody asked. Guruji, आत्मज्ञान कैसे प्राप्त हो सकता है? This is a question in Hindi. Person asking, Atmajnan means self-knowledge. How to achieve the self-knowledge? Understand your senses. First starting point. You will reach to your Atmajnan. Who are you? You are in the body. You live in your body. Atmajnan is a understanding of your senses, means understanding of your mind, understanding of your body, and acceptance of your body, acceptance of your mind. If you can, that is the first step. You can read as many books as you like. Not a single book can give you the knowledge of yourself till you learn to accept your limitation, till you learn to accept your senses and build a constructive relationship with them. How to start? Go for a Vipassana meditation. That can be your first step. Longer meditation practices can be very helpful. Is a If this Bhakt, I don't know the real name of yourself, my friend, but you can find, depending you are a Jnani Yogi, you may analyze your mind, thought patterns, and you may reach to the self-awareness. If you are a person who like to engage in activities, do and every action as in Niskam Karma Yoga, which is a no expectation and no projection or no judgment of any action. You just do the action. You just only become instrumental in the existence within the creation. That can also one way you can understand your mind, understand your nature, understand your ego. Third way, bhakti. Just only do the bhakti, which is a devotion, faith, trust in a teacher or in any God you believe in or in spiritual practices. Fourth one is Raj Yoga or meditation, Dhyana Yoga, Hatha Yoga. You just take a path of that. You may find some way. So there's many ways you can discover and understand and find it. I hope it's been helpful and productive. There's some questions I can see on YouTube. Does anybody can read them yourself for me? There was another question I also have. That is quite personal. I will send message to person directly. Joe, I will send you the message and you can understand it in depth later. Let me check what is on YouTube. Are you home? Somebody saying hello from Hawaii. I have a question. When is a good age for child to start meditating? Remember, what is the good age for child to start meditating is somewhere when you see the child have start developing an ego. For a female, it's around when you get your period, somewhere 11, 12-year age is good for girls. For the boys, you can start also for the most of the people should start meditating around 9 or 10-year age. But before that, I don't recommend children should play. Their play should become a meditation. When you are playing, your creativity should remain active up to the age of 9 or 10. Then you can introduce meditation at age of 10. But before 10, I will not really recommend meditation to children. You can make them do some breathing, but make sure they do a good physical activity. You cannot replace the children's playtime and the creativity, fun time, physical activities with a meditation. Cannot be, because the mind is only restless because they have a lot of curiosity inside. They want to explore, they want to understand. But you impose meditation becomes slightly difficult. Let them play. Some child have no awareness of the senses and you force meditation on them. Unless you want child to become a monk. Then from day one child become aware, can start speaking, you train into meditation. So it depends how and what you like the child to become. So generally, as a normal human being and the community or life, around 10 years of age is a good time. Up to age of 10, children should play. A play not restricted. Parents are holding the finger that you do this, you do this. That's not playing. That is, parents are playing to children. Let children play. And you find and make the activities quite exploring. When they start exploring, the mind goes into it, almost in a trance. The intelligence grows, the mind, their brain capacity expands. And then you can try to find a way you can. So first of all, watch their daily activities, what they're doing, watch their diet. You try to train child to meditate, but give them a lots of sugar and lots of numbers. Not going to work. You take the children to McDonald's or some of this junk food yard places. Please don't take it. And this has been censored. If you take your child to eat a food which is unhealthy and full of chemicals and numbers, and then the child become very active and you want them to meditate, no need. Adapt the diet. Adapt the food you're giving to the child and how the lifestyle is. There will be a 50% to 80% requirement will not be there for meditation. The child stay in the home, do no physical activity, and the brain is taking lots of energy inside the body. You try to use the meditation to suppress it down. You basically killing the curiosity of the child. Let them play. Up to age 10, full exploration of the maximum physical engagement to the body. And you find your child will be completely different. Introduce meditation at age 10 or 11 year old. Before that, I don't recommend it. Unless you want your child to become monk again. Thank you. On that note, Hari Om everyone. I hope you enjoy your practice and see you very soon. That is enough for today. I will stop the YouTube. If you have any question on YouTube, I heard the Sangha and from the Zoom, if you liked it, you can share it on your social media profile. And if you like to read it again, please do. If you know somebody who might benefit, send it to the WhatsApp and they find a question. If you have any question today, may arise later after re-listening to it. Please respond back. We will talk about it next week. Thank you.